This is Valley News Live at 5.
Good evening, everyone. A man is in jail tonight after police say he stabbed a woman. He's 75-year-old James Bogart. He was arrested for aggravated domestic assault. Officers found a woman with multiple stab wounds in the lobby of the Wingate Hotel around noon today. She was taken to the hospital and expected to be okay. In Moorhead, police are on the lookout for a man after a woman says he shot at her house early this morning. It happened in the 400 block of 7th Street South. The woman says her daughter was letting her dogs out in the backyard just before 5 this morning when the man asked if he could come inside. After the woman's daughter said no, she hurried back inside. The woman says that this is when the man fired 3 shots toward the house, shattering a window. The woman says this was a random attack. Police say that the suspect is a black male between 5 feet 6 inches tall and 6 feet tall. He was wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt with the hood up. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to cover this developing story. This isn't the only shooting currently under investigation in Moorhead. We're continuing to follow the shots fired call near an apartment complex in the 2400 block of 4th Avenue North on Sunday. The BCA has taken over that investigation. Police say an officer was investigating a suspicious person when a foot chase started and shots were fired. The only thing police have said is that they have someone in custody. They're referring all other questions to the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, who isn't commenting at this point. The prosecution continues to build its case in the trial of a man accused of shooting and killing a Grand Forks police officer. North Dakota BCI agents took the stand and described what they saw when they arrived at the crime scene. They indicated that the apartment hallways were littered with bullet holes. Solomon Pendleton is accused of shooting 2 people, including his mom and Officer Cody Holte. Holte was called in as backup to help deputies who were serving an eviction notice in late May of 2020. New at 5 tonight, more uncertainty for the embattled Africa International Restaurant and Nightclub. The general manager, who signed on July 1st, is gone, effective today. Not only was Stephen Baird the GM, he represented them as an attorney. No explanation was given. Fargo City Commissioners last week suspended the liquor license for the nightclub. The move came because of various problems, including a shooting outside in the club's parking lot in which an employee died. Here's an up-close and tragic look at that site of the collapsed condo building in Surfside, Florida. 10 more victims were found in the rubble today, bringing the death toll now to 46. The news comes as the search for victims reaches its 14th day. Right now, 94 people remain unaccounted for. The cause of the collapse is under investigation. Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Elsa making landfall on North Florida's Gulf Coast, hitting the area with heavy rain, flooding, and wind damage. Parts of the Georgia and Carolinas are also being impacted, leaving tens of thousands of people without power. Elsa reached peak strength as a Category 1 hurricane yesterday, but weakened before coming ashore. Still, authorities are warning that this storm can be dangerous.
We don't want people to get overconfident, be out in their cars and potentially driving into flooding. You could have down power lines with wind. There's a whole lot of possibilities that could happen in these storms.
It's expected to continue along the mid-Atlantic coast and maybe even re-strengthen into a tropical storm in the Northeast by Friday morning. Elsa is already the 5th named storm in the first month of what forecasters warn will be a very busy hurricane season. Pretty decent day out there. Let's find out from Hutch what tonight will bring. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. As we head into our evening here, we do have quiet skies, a few clouds out there, but all of the shower activity well off to the south and east of us. Now, there is a weather system working out of the Pacific Northwest. It'll bring a chance of rain for some tomorrow. Refreshingly cool here in the northern plains through the Great Lakes, where we have 60s and yellows and 70s here, barely for many of us in the valley, while the heat is suppressed down to the south. That makes your forecast for tonight pretty fair if you happen to be stopping the ice cream truck for a tasty treat tonight. Take your time licking the ice cream because it won't melt too fast out there. With temperatures in those comfortable 70s, we'll dip down into the 60s by the time we get past sunset. Light wind from the south. We'll see a fair mix of clouds across our skies. Grand Forks, similar conditions are expected. Now, by tomorrow at this time, we should be watching showers and thunderstorms developing to our west. I'll tell you where they're going to track. So who has the best chance at seeing some beneficial rain? in the next 24 hours. That information here in just a few moments.
Homeward Animal Shelter is desperate for more fosters. An influx of animals into the shelter is forcing them to stack crates of cats and dogs on top of each other. Valley News Team's J.C. Dodd spoke with the shelter employees about the overcrowding.
We're just really desperately needing of those foster homes.
Right now, Homeward Animal Shelter has 164 animals in their care, but the shelter can only hold less than half of them.
So we're just running out of kennel space altogether. We've had to board dogs that were, coming out of the pound, that there's no place for them to go here at the shelter.
They sent out a Facebook post with pictures showing just how crowded the shelter is, stacking crates of dogs and cats on top of each other in hallways and offices.
Of course, we want to rescue as many animals as possible.
With no space left at the shelter and no foster homes available, Homeward is having to board dogs, and the expenses are adding up.
Having to pay for that as well, in addition to the normal, wellness checks, veterinary care, food, all of those additional costs.
I spoke with one foster mother who has been fostering cats for years and has a message to those considering fostering.
Do it, do it, do it. They need so many fosters, and there's so many animals that are just overcrowded here, and it's a really stressful place for a lot of the animals, the dogs and cats, all of them.
In North Fargo, J.C. Dodd, Valley News Live.
Now, after Homeward's Facebook post last night, the shelter reports they've had 4 adoptions and 17 new foster applications. An animal rescue is asking Moorhead residents to be on the lookout for 60 domestic rabbits on the loose. Critter Crazy Reptile and Exotic Rescue posted on Facebook saying the rabbits escaped from a home through a hole in the fence. Animal Control is now working with the homeowner to not only fix the fence so more rabbits don't get out, but if you find the domestic rabbits in your yard, you can message Critter Crazy on their Facebook page or call them. The phone number's on your screen there, 701-730-8005. There's a new partnership to promote bike safety in downtown Fargo. And here's a scoop for you. You can get free ice cream. Those who walk their bike or carry their skateboard in the downtown bicycle pedestrian safety zone will get a coupon for a treat at Silver Lining Creamery. The designated area is on Broadway from Northern Pacific Avenue to 6th Avenue North, and it's marked with street signs and sidewalk markings. Fewer than half of the U.S. states reached the White House's goal to vaccinate 70% of the adults for COVID-19 by July 4th. To date, 51% of adults in North Dakota have received at least 1 dose of the vaccine. Health officials say vaccine hesitancy is still playing a large role in why people aren't getting the shot.
I do think North Dakota will someday get to 70%. I can't say when, but I think these are good vaccines. I think they've been proven to be effective.
Howell adds that she believes North Dakota's increasing vaccination rate has led to the decrease in COVID cases and hope that trend continues. Meanwhile, North Dakota's cross-border vaccination initiative has reached a major milestone. The state has helped over 2,500 truck drivers from Manitoba get the vaccine so far. Canada struggled early on in its vaccination rollout, but now about 40% of the country is fully vaccinated. Manitoban truck drivers can still get their shot at 2 locations in North Dakota. The Gas Track site in Pembina is open weekends from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and the Drayton Rest Area site is open Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 10 to 6. And if you're looking for more local places to get the vaccine, use our VNL Vaccine Tracker. It's on the homepage of our website, or, as we've told you many times, you can open your phone camera right now. Point it to the QR code on your screen and then tap the link that pops up. Want to learn how to water ski? Later on Valley News Live at 5, who's heading up classes in Lakes Country?
And our weather is cool. Today, some mid-40s up in the Northern Valley as we take a look at your planning forecast. We're expecting those temperatures to warm back up, better for water skiing, and a chance of rain. I'll have hour-by-hour details coming up. Join me. Weather is next.